If your Pinterest board is just like mine and you have a million tops, but you're not sure which one to make because you don't know if it's gonna fit your body type, well, this is going to be your video because I'm going to give you a summary on what things you have to look for on a top to make it fit your style and your specific body type. Welcome to the fourth episode of this series where I show you how to sew your dream wardrobe. And here I show you everything from finding your style to choosing the capsule pieces to giving you instructions. Everything in one place. The last weeks we've already looked into the bottoms, so trousers and skirts, and today it's the turn of tops. As always, some disclaimers. Disclaimer number one is that I'm going to be using my rectangular body shape for the illustrations on this video, but I'm going to make these same illustrations for all the other body shapes, and once they're done I'm going to put them in my website and I'm going to link them down below. And disclaimer number two, there's no right or wrong answers, just look at the pictures, at the illustrations, and choose which one is your favorite. Don't let anyone tell you what you should or what you should not be wearing. Just trust your gut. Now that this is clear, let's get into it. Lesson number one, top anatomy. Tops are the piece of clothing that can make the most difference when changing your body shape, and this is because we have 3 points. We have the shoulders, the waist, and the hips. The theory says that the shoulders and the hips should be balanced and that the waist should be a little bit smaller than the hips and the shoulders. But how can we achieve that? Before I get into what parts a top has, let's start with the foundation, because when we're sewing, we talk about foundation and we don't really know what that means. The foundation is the structure, and we have different foundation. We have the basic top that goes until the waist. We have the basic torso foundation that goes until the hips. Then we have the shirt, the dress, the jacket, and all the elastic foundations. So we have so many that this video is going to be confusing. I can already tell you that. But if you look into it, you can trace all these designs from the basic top pattern. For the sake of this video, we're going to simplify it, and I'm going to be talking from now on about the torso foundation because it's the most typical one and it has the biggest length, so it's easier to illustrate everything. But now that that's clear, let's look into tops. You can divide them in 6 different parts. Now that we've defined our base, the next thing is to define the waist shaping. The torso foundation can fit our body more or less closely, and everything I'm going to be talking about now is based on woven fabrics, so fabrics without elasticity. If we start with the basic torso foundation, this foundation has 3 darts and is the one that fits the most closely to your body. So it's going to contour around your waist and also around your bust. That's why you have 3 darts. The second option is the casual shape, and there we remove one of the darts so you get a little bit more room and a little bit more comfort around your waist, but without compromising this shaping too much. And the final option is the casual version, and this means that you have 1 or 0 darts and it's going to make you look a little bit boxy. But this option is of course going to be the most comfortable for you. So you basically will have to find the balance between how much waist shaping you're looking for and how much comfort you want. And as I told you, this was for woven fabrics, but if we talk about elastic fabrics, these fabrics don't need darts because they stretch. So you can still fit your body tightly without compromising that comfort. So if that's what you're looking for, this is also an option for you. Once we have defined the foundation, we can talk about silhouettes. This can be done by moving or converting darts into volume or details. And you can do it in 2 ways. The first one is by repositioning these darts and creating specific designs like princess seams or empire style. You have a lot of them. You can also go wild. And the second option is by adding volume. So this would be converting darts into volume like gathers, ruffles, pleats, tucks, or many more. So let's add an example. If you're an inverted triangle, you have a heavy top and you need to add volume at the bottom. So what you could do is just cut through the empire line and add gathers at the bottom as if it was a peplum. Or if on the other side you have small breasts and you want to give the illusion that you have more, you can add all the gathers around your bust. These details will basically draw attention to places you want to amplify. The general idea is that details equal volume, equal drawing attention, and equal making it wider. So I would advise you, before buying any tops or sewing any tops, to draw it and define where the volume is and think about, is this going to fit my body shape or the style I'm looking for? The next thing we're going to look into are necklines. There's a lot of necklines out there, but let me divide them into groups so we make it a little bit easier. We can divide them in 3 groups: the shape, the depth, and the width. The first group is the shape. Shapes can be round, rectangular, or heart shape, for example. If we look into round necklines, for example, these will create curves and will not draw too much attention. But if on the other hand we choose sharp shapes, then this will make you look a little bit more squared. Then we have the second group, which is depth, and necklines can be either high or low. Low necklines will elongate the body and break the chest, and high necklines will hide your chest. And then the last group is the width, and they can be either wide or narrow. Narrow necklines will accentuate the slender look, they will elongate your silhouette and narrow the shoulders. And wide necklines will widen the shoulders and the bust areas. And of course, you can combine these different groups to create specific illusions. For example, low and wide will lengthen the shoulders and show off your bust, or deep and narrow will reduce the width of the shoulders and vertically stretch and slim the upper body. And on top of these things, you can always add embellishments like collars, ruffles, streams, so many things. And of course, this will draw attention upwards and will make you look more top heavy. And then finally, you have asymmetrical big designs that will also emphasize and break the chest vertically. Next one on the list are sleeves. These are a whole piece by themselves, so we can break them down into 2 groups to simplify it. We're gonna look into the length and into the width. And in order to make it as simple as we can, we're going to assume there's only 2 lengths, long and short. And of course, I know there's more lengths, but just stay with me. So as I said, we have the length and we also have the width. And there's different ways of adding width. You can add it only at the top, only at the bottom, both at the top and at the bottom, or you can add it as flare or as puff. And of course, when you're adding width, you're adding volume. So as I always say, you are drawing attention to that specific part. So let's look into specific designs. Let's start with long sleeves. A fitted sleeve will draw attention away from your shoulders and you will look pretty balanced. On the other hand, a wide sleeve at the top will draw attention to the shoulders and making them appear wider, so you will be shoulder heavy. Then a wide sleeve at the bottom will draw attention to the wrist and your midsection, and this means bigger hips and smaller shoulders, so hip heavy. And finally, a sleeve that is wide at the top and at the bottom will make your shoulders and hips look wider and slender the waist, so you'll have waist shaping. There are also specific types of sleeves that take attention away from your shoulders while adding interest somewhere else, and these are sleeves like raglan, kimono, and dolman sleeves. And if on the other hand what you want is short sleeves, this is what's going to happen. A fitted sleeve will make your upper body appear slimmer because you're not adding weight to the shoulders, so you will look pretty balanced. And a wider sleeve will do the opposite. It adds volume to the upper body and make your shoulders seem bigger, so shoulder heavy. We've talked about long and short sleeves, but there's one other option, that is adding straps. And wide straps will make your shoulders look smaller and thin straps will make them look wider and bigger. And like we said for the necklines, you can also add embellishments to the sleeves. You can add it at the top or at the bottom. If you add it to the shoulders, this will make them appear wider, and details can be things like buttons, ruffles, slits, shoulder pads, or cutouts. And if you add details to the wrist, the attention will go to the wrist and make the midsection look bigger, and details can be rolled up or cuff sleeves, for example. But now that we've talked about sleeves, let's look into the next part, which is the length. I have to say the length of your top will go hand in hand with the waistband of your trousers or of your skirt. For example, for a length below the bust, so a crop top, you can lengthen or shorten the torso with the waistband. This option will accentuate your shape around the waist and the tummy, or if you have a short or long torso, it will also be visible. If on the other hand, the length ends at the waist, you can appear slimmer with the boxy top and slim trousers, for example. Or if you have curves, you can wear a tight top and show them. And then finally, the next length is the hip length, and this will elongate your torso and can be used to add volume around the hips or create more of a boxy look if you want to hide the width of your hips. As you know, you can always combine the length with other characteristics to come up with specific designs. Last but not least, we have fabrics and colors. As you know, colors that are dark will make you appear slimmer, and colors that are light will make you appear wider. But you also have things like specific patterns. For example, vertical stripes will make you look longer and horizontal stripes will make you look shorter. And for fabrics, I believe they're way more important than what we've said for the bottoms. And this is because the fabric and the design will go really hand in hand. So if you want, for example, a tight t-shirt without darts, you will have to go for an elastic fabric. Or if you want a neckline that is a cowl neckline and you want it to drape really nicely, then you will have to go for a drapey fabric. Or if you want a little bit more structure to make a shirt for work, then you'll have to go for a sturdier fabric. In my opinion, fabrics for tops have more to do with the design than trying to show your curves or not. I don't know if you agree, let me know. But with that, we're done with the parts. Let's now look into the next chapter. Lesson number 2, the top matrix. Now that we've broken down all the parts of a top, let's get serious. It's impossible for me to show you a matrix of all the different designs and how they come together. It's impossible. Just so you understand how many combinations there could be, here's a matrix of all the possible necklines out there that have a name. And if you didn't have enough, let's pair them with all the sleeve types out there that also have a name. I'm sure you can create more. So if to that you add the length, the silhouette, the waist shaping, the foundations, there's too many. So let's talk about what designs I want for my wardrobe. Let's divide them into different groups: elastic versus non-elastic, tight versus loose, and sleeves versus sleeveless. This means we have 8 different categories. We have work shirts, tight tops, cardigans, tank tops, and on the other side, blouses, summer tops, t-shirts and sweaters, and comfortable tops. And this time I need your help because we're going to do things differently. Normally, I would post this video and then the next 3 weeks I would make 3 specific designs from my wardrobe, but this time we're gonna make 6. I'm going to cover what I consider to be the 3 basic capsule wardrobe, so tank tops, t-shirts and shirts, but I need your help for the rest of the designs. Down below you can find a Google Forms where you can send me what designs you would like me to make. For the 3 extra videos, I'm going to choose 1 or 2 designs that I would like to sew for my own wardrobe, and I'm going to make them. And for the ones that are not my style, I'm going to give you a little bit of a light round with the instructions on how to draft them, how I would draft them, and the illustrations on how they would look like on different body types. This way you help me get inspiration and I help you if you have problems drafting these patterns. I hope it's clear. The summary is, if you have any designs that you want me to make, send them down below, and you can also share your handle if you want me to share the handle during my YouTube video, and we all help each other. And with that, we're done with the tops. There's so much out there I still want to talk about, but they are more on the boring side because it's about foundations and how to change the foundation and how many foundations you need and all these things. So that will probably make it to my other channel. So if you want to follow that, you can go to my other channel where I also have instructions on the specific tops or trousers or skirts that I've been making, and you'll find it linked down below. Or you can also go to my website where I have all these resources for free, also linked down below. And if you want to stay connected with me more often, you can follow me on Instagram. My handle is _Nuriamo. And if you didn't have enough of things that you can do, you can also subscribe to this channel if you like it. But that is everything for today. I will get out of your way. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice week, and I'll see you on the next one with the first top pattern. Bye.